Hello everyone, welcome back to the weekly race guide. Weirdly, it's happening a day early, so this is how I figured we'd go forward because the graphics make sense in terms of you getting the information before the actual start of the week. So we are at race A, and race A usually is a car provided by Gran Turismo. So we'd have to kind of guess race A to some extent. Now when it's group 4 normally, we believe it's the FF cars, but we'll look at that in a second and you can see that race in the background. Let's have a look at the race details first of all. The race is 4 laps in length. It's a grid start and we are on racing hard tyres. If you haven't noticed, we're at Monza. So with the grid start, Monza, turn 1, carnage. Yeah, that is what you're going to expect. But there is going to be some good racing here. Now in terms of the cars, obviously if it's going to be the FFs, we could be wrong. We'll wait and see. But if it is the FFs, the strongest car here is going to be the RCZ. It's the fastest out of all the FF cars in terms of a straight line. We have weak slipstream. That is the car to use. Let's jump to the race now. We did do a couple of these races. And let's have a look at some tips and tricks in terms of overtaking and the best places to make those moves. So here we are at the start. Track control 1. Remember, FF cars, grid starts, wheel spin galore. As you see there, you can see it's still struggling. Now we turn it off and off we go. Just before that gear change, we're going to change it. Now obviously we've got 15 drivers here. You'll only have 12 in race A, but obviously I want everybody to enjoy the fun. So heading towards turn 1, you can see how packed it is, and you're going to have to brake extremely early, much earlier than you expect. And even still, I have to stop here to avoid hitting rapid. That's the Constantino effect. Be very, 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 very careful of that. As you can see here, I'm going to make it 3 wide. Happy days, let's have some racing. So you see I stopped, but I still managed to get some moves done. Obviously, it's a lobby that we've created on live stream. It's going to be very clean. Everyone is trying to race as clean as possible. In race A, I don't think it will happen that way. I think you're going to see a lot of smashes into turn 1. As expected at Monza. Again, coming to the second chicane, you're going to have to be very careful. You can see how much we have slowed. Somebody ran wide there. We're in behind Jomas here. Everybody taking it very slowly here. You're going to have to do that in the race. You're going to have to be very, very careful as then we head towards Lesmo 1 here. Now you can see we're in different cars here. John was in the Audi TT, the Scirocco in front. I'm not sure what's in front of that, but this is where the critical thing is. With the RCZ, it has a lot more power, and what you'll see as we go into the next lap is the TT just has no power in the top end, and you have the top end speed here, and the TT will struggle. As we go for a move on the Scirocco here, going for moves at Ascari are very, very sketchy to do. We're trying to race clean here, and Gohan just slightly outbrakes himself here, and literally, there's carnage ghosties in the gravel there. So there's a little bit of carnage there, and this is a clean lobby. So again, moves at Ascari, very sketchy. Just be aware about making them. It's better to wait until this straight here and going for moves at the Parabolica than doing it before Ascari, because everything will just hit the fan basically. Heading towards Parabolica then, nice and easy this corner. Get it nice and turned in and get a run for the start finish straight. So before we go into lap guide, well, we are going to go into lap guide. I'm going to show you what I mean about the TT having no top end here. So I'm not in any slipstream. It's weak slipstream, by the way. It's 1.5 seconds. But notice the TT is not gaining any speed here at all. Not gaining any speed as we come down towards turn 1. So as we head towards turn 1, you're going to look on the left hand side with loads of brake markers here. The 150 meter board is where you're looking for. You might want to brake a bit after or a bit before, depending if you've got slipstream or not. The 150 meter board is your marker. Be very wary of that marker. You've got the one on the side. I use the one next to the track here. I'm going to brake a little bit late there. And we still get it stopped, but you notice it's 150 meters. Look for that marker. That's the critical marker here at Monza. Continue out of there now. I'm going to head through the Curva Grande. And we're going to head towards the second chicane. We're going to have slipstream here, of course, now. So as we head there, we're going to have to be a bit wary about this. We are going to brake a little bit earlier because obviously we're just still trying to feel it out and race clean here as well. So I brake a little bit earlier than where I'm showing you now, but literally that tarmac area on the right hand side is the place to brake at Monza for turn 2. It's my marker all the time. It's only road cars I don't use that because you have to brake further back. Otherwise, I'm always using that. Now you've got to be careful of penalties, shortcut penalties here. So just be wary about cutting the corners there. Obviously, if you get too many, you're going to start going down in those ratings. As you can see, there's John has a penalty up ahead. Now, the 50 meter board and the tree, pick and choose what you like. Now, depending on the time of day, because we don't know what time of day it's going to be, you might also want to use the shadow, which is straight in front of you. But they're the two I use for that brake marker. As we come through Lesmo 1, as we head toward Lesmo 2, I'm going to say it. We have the 50-meter board and the tree again. The trees are very helpful here at Monza. They're not going to get pile drived off if someone has lag and the brake board disappears. You've always got the tree there. So, you know, you can use the tree whenever you like. Happy days as we then come in. Use that curb if you can. Get around the corner and we're going to head towards the Scari. See, it's quite line astern here. So I do believe you can have some good racing if you get the right kind of lobby. But the critical problem is you've got to get the right kind of lobby. And more than 1 or 2 contacts, you're going to have serious SR downs, which could lead to a DR reset. At Ascari, tarmac there on the right hand side. You could use the barrier change as well. It's up to you, but I use the tarmac mainly on the right hand side as my brake marker. And be careful about cutting at Ascari as well, okay? Don't cut in too early. Those curves will push you off towards the right. Same here. And then as we go over to the left, be careful about cutting that part there as well. You will get a penalty. I believe, is Shelty going to get a penalty? I don't know. Yes, there you go. There's the penalty for you. So we're going to head now towards the Parabolica. Parabolica has also got a couple of brake markers you can use here. So as we head there now, you've got the 100-meter board. You've also got these lights on the right-hand side. You can also use the ones on the left as well, depending on how you feel. But I use the one on the right or the 100-meter board. I was using 100 meters here as a reference to brake for the Parabolica. Now, as you turn in, you're going to notice that first light. You're going to notice that second light. That second light there is where you accelerate, okay? Use that to your advantage. It's a good acceleration point there, you know, or a good marker to use when you know you can accelerate out. Now we're going to advance to the last lap, which you can see is getting a little bit packed again in terms of the racing here. So a mixture of TTs, RCZs, I think the Renault is in there as well. Or maybe not. Oh, it's right in front of us. Duh. Right in front of us. Anyway, heading towards turn 1. Look at this, they're 3 wide into turn 1. Which is going to get very tight again, so you have to really slow down, really stop the car. You have to be very careful. Notice how slow we're going here. Penalties being applied there for little contacts. You're going to have this in the race as well. So Adamor, in theory, or in my opinion, potentially would get an SR down there. And he's racing clean. It's just little taps. You know how the game penalises you for little taps. That is the clear example there. So we're going to head now towards this second chicane. Another sketchy chicane this. One I wouldn't advise going too wide. More than likely leads to contact. Obviously we're going to be racing exceptionally clean in this lobby. So through we go. Absolutely fine. And Ryan there just gets stopped, I think, by the barrier and a little bit by me. I'm not too sure. As then we head towards the right hand here. And we have that position P8 here. Through there we go. Be careful about running too wide there. I've seen a couple of people going to the barrier because they touched the gravel. And then we have Lesmo 2 and... who's that? Agonator trying to do the best impression of... Was it Magnussen who went off there at Lesmo 2? I can't remember. Somebody went off there in Q1, didn't they? Or Q2? I don't know. Hopefully the F1 race has been enjoyable for you today. Anyway, heading down towards Ascari now. And we're chasing Mo here. And into the braking zone we go. So obviously on this last lap, Ascari and the Parabolica are very critical corners. You basically want to get a run on anybody in front of you through Ascari. Because what you're going to find... every single time is that the last ditch moves are going to happen at the Parabolica. It's the last corner. It's a very good corner to make moves on. You can go around the outside, inside, you could do whatever. Now, generally speaking, I wouldn't go for the outside here, but I do on Mo. Mo races very clean here. I get past there on the right hand side. I've then got the run. Mo has to give me room on the outside because I'm definitely there. So I get the move done. However, we did another race here, which I'm going to whiz to now. And we're racing James and Ryan. RCZ's at the front. That's why I say you should choose this car. I'm going to make it 3 wide. Now, most people are going to try and outbrake you into the Parabolica. Okay, so I decided to brake early here. Ryan and James brake late, defending against each other. And through we go there on the inside with a cutback. Now, you just got to be careful of that. I personally would always try and go for the cutback on the last lap at the Parabolica. You normally see me try and do that. It's the better of the two because you risk going out wide. But that's going to be it for Monza and race A. What we're going to do now is head to race B, which is at Catalunya in Spain. So let's jump there now. Welcome to then one of my favourite combos, if not the favourite combo. It's very much up there for me. It's Catalunya and the Group 3 cars, which you can see in the background there. But before we have a look at the cars, let's have a look at the race details first of all. Race B is 4 laps in length. This time it's a rolling start, which you're going to have to be careful of the last chicane with, and also the last corner as well. And we are on racing hard tyres. Now, Catalunya Group 3, this is a handling combo. You want the handling cars, not the power cars here. So of course, for me, I went to my Audi R8, of course, because that is one of my favourite cars in the game, of course. It's one of, if not the best handling car. So that's the one I would pick. If you do struggle with that, maybe if you want an FR car, go with the Subaru, but I'm in the Audi R8. Let's jump to the race now, take you through a guide and some overtaking opportunities. So So at the start, you might want to use traction control because we are starting 3 corners from the start finish straight, and you may struggle with a little bit of traction. I turn it off here, but even so, because it is 3 corners, the field gets very spread out very quickly. So if you're going to try last to first challenge or want a lot of racing action, you're not really going to get it in this race. It's only 4 laps. You've got to be careful of this. Even so, we've got a nice run on Chopped here, or Chop, who's going to get chopped. And I made that same joke in the live stream. So laugh away, or no, maybe not laugh away, it's not that good of a joke. But even so, head towards turn 1. We're going to start the lap guide straight off the bat here. 2 indicators or markers you can use here. On the left, we've got the flag indicator. On the right, we've got a gap in the wall. Now, I used that in the Zonda track guide I did for Gran Turismo. Just that gap there is very useful indeed. Now, this first corner, second, third gear, it's a bit iffy. It's either or, depending on the car and the situation. And as you come through here, you're going to want to touch that curb a little bit, and then as the corner straightens up there, you want to then flat out head towards the left-hand side. Now, as you head towards this right-hander here, you're going to notice some marks in the middle of the road there, darker marks. I use the second one, that links towards the gantry. That's my marker that I use for braking. You could also use the white line on the left or the gantry above, but I use that line. That's the line I use as we head towards the braking zone. Same as the previous corner here, as it straightens out, make sure you put your foot to the floor and accelerate out, use all the track here, and then head towards the right hand side, where you're going to look for that little bit of tougher grass there that I've got in the distance. That's the marker I use. There's not many markers for this corner. You can use the rest of the car as well as a little bit of a pattern, so sometimes you might want to hit the limiter, but generally I use that grass, and then that's my target. I do hit the apex sometimes, just like in this lap, or guide, should I say. Heading towards this left-hander, a very dangerous left-hander now. So you're going to need to start the curb there and you're going to brake. Don't be on the curb because you're risking spinning out. Jomas did this in one of the races we did and went off to Narnia, happy days. So try and avoid doing that as we bring it in towards the left. Try and straight line this as best as you can. If you turn at any point there, the curb could chuck you out. As you head up towards this right-hander, if you're going to brake, dab the brake, chuck it in, but a rule of thumb for me is I don't like braking for this corner. It unsettles the car a little bit. If you just let off the car, balance the throttle, and try and clip the curb on the inside, and then use all the curb on the exit. Do be careful of the curb glitch though if you're bordering on between the red and white and the green. As you head towards this left-hander, there's a flag marker on the right-hand side, the right there, and you're going to use that as your marker here. A very good marker. It's one I use all the time in any cars. It's very easy to spot, actually, more than this video, I would say. And you're going to brake, and you're really going to slow the car down. Now, it's all about getting pointed out and firing out this corner as quick as you can. So just be careful of that as Gohan goes to Narnia here. For this corner, it's about trail brake a little bit, using that curb. Keep using it. It'll just pull you around a little bit. And we continue on out and head towards this right-hander. Now, once again, we are using marks on the curb here. So you notice that big mark there. We're using that as we then turn into the corner. Sometimes you want to use the sausage curb depending on the car. Sometimes you don't. It's very dependent. So we use it a little bit here. And then, of course, we have the gantry up top. No need to crop that down. You can see that there. The gantry or the shadow. Depends what time of day, of course, because we don't actually know. But that is what I use at Catalunya. So then you're going to want to go over the sausage curb, and then the same again. Be very careful, as you notice. The car got very oversteery very quickly. And now we're going to get into a little bit of racing action and show you where some of the overtakes can happen, where some of the drama can actually happen. We've got 2 pieces of drama in this one. So we're going to head towards turn 1 here. James there in the Mercedes has a run on the Audi there of R4M blue flag. So a member of Super GT's team in this one. You notice how I didn't change gear there. Sometimes it's worthwhile not changing gear. That time it probably was worthwhile because I was in slipstream. But even so, we come through here. Blue flag gets a little bit unstable, so I already know I'm going to go for the inside here because I know I can get on the inside. So as we straighten up there, I get on the inside. And this is a very normal move to do here. Try and get on the inside of somebody for this right-hander. Because this right-hander is so long, if you're on the inside, you're going to make the corner basically, and you're going to get that position, which is the critical thing. Continue on out of there then, and we're right behind James here in the Mercedes as we chuck it into the left. Now, we've got to try and go for an overtaking move. The next best place for the overtaking move is on the back straight. The sharp left, obviously the hairpin, heavy braking zone after a long acceleration period. It is the best place. I wouldn't recommend going for a move on this corner and only get contact, or this corner, which is going to also get contact or lose you so much time because you carry so much speed on that corner. So through there we go. James obviously knows I'm going to go for a move here, so he's going to defend this. So I'm going to go to the right hand side here, and we're going to hit the braking. But from behind, the Audi just gets it slightly wrong and hits James. But everybody slows down, lets James continue on there. So good sportsmanlike conduct. But that sort of action there, where blue flag made that mistake, very common in daily races. So be careful there. You may get hit from behind. It is a critical area where you do want to watch your radar. Now we do have another area where you want to watch the radar, of course, and that's start-finish straight. So as we come into here now, we're obviously going to go for a move on James, because we're in the slipstream. James has no slipstream, so gives us an advantage, a little bit like DRS essentially. So through the right-hander we go, getting that slipstream, and we're going to have a good run here. You can see Jomas behind as well. Jomas is in the Corvette. That's much faster than the R8 on the straight line. So James goes towards the middle, and we go towards the right-hand side. Now we need to focus more on the radar here. So Jomas going to outbrake himself here, and watch what Jomas does. He plants his foot. You notice how you hear him go on the engine. He realizes he's not going to make the corner and plants his foot to go off the track to avoid contact there. So it's good sportsmanlike conduct by Jomas. Just be careful of people outbraking themselves into turn 1. Very easy to do with such a long slipstreaming phase. You know, Jomas did it there. Jomas is a World Tour finalist, so it's very easy to do at any skill level. So we jump straight to lap 4. Nothing much more happens really. So as you can see, there's not a huge amount of racing action in this, in the grand scheme of the race. It's 4 laps and we've skipped half the race. So just be careful of that. You know, if you want racing action, you're not going to get it. If you want a nice, you know, SR potentially safe race, this is the one for you. Just make sure you're aware of the radar. See, Will go for a move at the chicane. Very, very hard to do a move there. You can see Will lost the rear end there as well. And then Will just cut my nose off a little bit there. I said on stream, oh, I should have punted Will there. But obviously don't go punting people as we continue to finish that race. So that is race B in a nutshell. A bit too short for my liking, but you potentially have a safe SR rating there. Let's jump to race C now, where we're heading to a city track and Japan. Welcome then to the Tokyo Expressway, and we are on the South Outer Loop for this one, and we are also in Group 2 if you can't tell by the footage behind. But let's have a look at the race details first of all. We are racing for 13 laps here. We have a rolling start. It's a nice easy start for everybody because it's a long straight. It's racing hard tyres and fuel usage is ×2 while tyre wear is ×8. Now I can tell you right now, it's not a fuel race, it is not a tyre race. Just go flat out from start to finish. So no strategy this week. If you're after strategy, it's not there. However, this race can get interesting, I suppose, because it does get a little bit oversteery, and we have a chicane of death in there as well. Now, in terms of the Group 2 cars, the best car to use, in my opinion, or that we found anyway, at the time was the GTR 16 car, the 2016 car. The old cars, very good on the straights, absolutely rubbish in the corners, and you need that high downforce in these cars to get around the fast corners without even braking, basically. Let's jump to the race now. I'll show you through some tips, tricks, and another little bit of a lap guide. So here we are then at the start. As always, if it's not a fuel-saving race, burn that fuel. Plant your foot. Even before you get to your car, you'll burn the fuel down. We've not burnt any here, but obviously you might burn just that 1% in the daily race. It's always worth doing. 1% is a little bit lighter of a car. So, off we go. I don't think 20th position will start on the chicane. I think it'll just be after, but if it is on the chicane, rip, don't start 20th. Off we go. Now, I'm warming up my tyres here. It's well worth doing this on this straight. Warm up your tyres as best as you can, because obviously you're going into a very fast section, very high speed cornering here, so you need to get it done. As you can see, everybody in front didn't warm up the tyres, went into the barrier, so just be careful of that. Now, the DP is in an old NSX. Now, obviously that car is very quick on the straights, not very good at cornering compared to the newer cars. But even so, we're going to have a bit of a race here, and we'll have the track guide towards the end here, because we've got some good races at the start of this one. Obviously, a heavy braking zone here. Got to be very careful. Now, obviously, lap 1, minute 1 of daily race C, there's going to be a bit of carnage at that corner. People will outbrake themselves, cold tyres, just getting warmed up for the race. That's where you're going to expect a lot of the chaos to happen initially. So just keep an eye out on your radar there. You know, if someone does go for the dive, just give them space. Maybe just brake and then turn in once they've gone past you. And as you can see, we've got slipstream here as well. So this is also where it's all going to kick off. As you can see up ahead, lots of little movements going on here. And I go down the middle with an insane Moses maneuver here. But we get the job done in towards the right-hander. So you've got to be careful there. Obviously, slipstream early on. Everyone's going to be all over the place. Slight moves in these cars are going to cause big impacts. High downforce, high speed. They move very quickly. It's the same as when you're in Group 1. Gohan unfortunately gets the chicane wrong there. We go through up into P12 now. And Chop, once again, is ahead of us. We need to chop, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Anyway, let's continue on. Let's stop the Mighty Car Mods chopped actions and memes going about here. Is it a meme or is it a saying? I don't know. Anyway, continue on to turn 1. Here we go. They catch up to the NSX very quickly. As I say, I would personally pick the GTR over any of the others. GTR 2016 car. As you see, Chopped gets it all wrong there with a bit of oversteer. That NSX, a very unstable car in the grand scheme of it. So through there we go. You don't actually have to brake once you're in that section. for any of the corners. I think if you nail it, you can do it flat out, but yeah, don't quote me on that one as we head towards the braking zone now. So we go around the outside at the hairpin. Again, a very sketchy corner to do that. Chop gives us plenty of space there. Awesome stuff. And through we go into P11, but now we have WDP behind us essentially. Remember, WDP in the older car, so he's going to be very quick in that NSX. Very, very, very quick. So just got to, you know, be aware of those older cars being in this race. They will overtake you. And as we head up here, you notice how I go towards the left here and the right, and WDP goes to the right. Look at the white line in the middle. Use that as a reference. If you're too wide, let the guy on the right take the right inside, you take the left lane. Keep it in the lanes. It's the best way to race clean at this track. WDP went for the move. Got it wrong on the exit there, so I'm going to be on the inside. Don't go too wide in the chicane. You will lose so much time. It is unbelievable. And we get it a little bit wrong there. Jump in the sausage, but even so, we survived that one. Bit of a big battle going on up ahead there. Blue flag, Sweezus, and I think it was Adamo as well. As we continue on to lap number 3 now. So you can see a lot of action very early on here with the slipstream, with the hard braking zones. Daily race C, I do expect a lot of action to happen. WDP looking for the move there, not going to quite happen. Obviously the high downforce cars can absolutely fly through here. Look at this. It's unusual to be able to do this in any car, but we can do this in Group 2 because of the downforce. In towards the left we go. The slight lifts here, there and everywhere because obviously we've jumped straight into this. We've made the lobby, jumped straight into it. If you do want to be a part of this lobby, by the way, we do this on Saturdays and you can get involved and be in the video as Adamo, Blue Flag and Sweetus is doing. So we come through here and Blue Flag's going to go to Narnia that way. So R4M visits Narnia. Shadow Realm coming towards the world of Narnia. So we're right behind Adamo now in the Lexus, brand new Lexus. That's a good car to pick as well here, I think. It's a little bit more stable than the GTR, so might be a worthwhile second choice, potentially. We'll see on the leaderboards very soon, but I do think the GTR will be the best car here. As again, look at that, the lanes, use the lanes, you know, let the guy on the left have the left lane, you take the right lane, very easy, as we head towards this braking zone now. Very hard corner to get right. If you nail this corner, by the way, you can absolutely do an absolute mega lap. It's the same for all corners on here, actually, when I think about it. If you absolutely nail it, you'll be on it, because you can then go flat out in all the other part of that given section. Let's go through here. Obviously, we're going to have the slipstream now, so let's try and see if we can make some moves here. A little bit of lag there, but all good. So we go towards the right-hand side, and again, the lanes, very simple here. Use the lanes, and heading towards this right-hander. Sweetus is going to go around the outside here. Very good move here, and gets the job done. So as we come through here, now you've got to be careful with what you're about to see next. Adamo, as I have to lift off here, Adamo goes for the move down the inside. I didn't actually notice it on my radar. Obviously, I was focusing ahead there and looking at Sweetus. I didn't notice Adamo go down the inside. So if you do go for that kind of move, be prepared to get hit. It's a good move by Adamo. Very good move. Very good opportunistic move. But other drivers need to be aware that that potentially can happen. That's why I'm showing you this, why we did the races earlier on. So I can give you a heads up before the week starts with these weekly races. Obviously, we're going to have a little bit of slipstream now with Adamo, and we are going to go a little bit side by side in the chicane very soon, and to show you how much time you do actually lose. As I say, it is possible. It's possible to go side by side on any circuit anywhere. It's just you will lose a lot of time. So Adamo goes defensive here, very good defensive driving. We go to the left here, going to try and go around the outside. Very possible to go side by side here. Again, it's the lane thing there, and heading down here. I say we're going to go side by side here. Adamo backs out of it initially. Then comes back at me and we go side by side. Look how much speed we lose there, and look at the Portuguese driver go away, and Matman also getting in the mix now. So you lose a lot of time doing that. My recommendation, let the car on the inside go if they've definitely got momentum. Otherwise, let the car on the left go, because they'll have the racing line. You can pull in and then get a better line for the chicane. The point there is momentum. So who has the most momentum? If it's side by side and you're both going the same speed, it's the driver on the right I would give the line, because they're going to be on the inside for the first part of the chicane. You know, sometimes you both may lift off, but yeah, try and work it out there as Matman goes into the barrier there. Something you don't want to do in this, because obviously that's going to be a penalty and SR down. Anyway, we're heading back up towards the back of Adamo here. Nearly rear end him, but we get it all stopped. Happy days. Through the right hander we go. And continue out there, and Adamo nearly loses it. So it's very easy to lose at that hairpin, because you want to plant your foot very quickly. You'll notice I'm trying to control that throttle a bit more, get straight and then accelerate. Remember, with a car, and James May did this in Top Gear, if you know a car's going to oversteer, you can then react before it even does it, and therefore you won't oversteer. It's a tricky one to get right, but with a little bit of practice you'll get there, and that's what I tend to do on that hairpin. I know it's going to oversteer, so I'm counteracting it before it even happens, so it doesn't even happen in the first place. Anyway, chuck it into the right. We finally get that move done. Happy days. Head towards the chicane. When you see that yellow flag, obviously someone's potentially binned it at the chicane at some point or another there. Through there we go, as we nearly binned it actually. So we're going to now head towards the lap guide now. So I do, the Portuguese driver unfortunately disconnects. You see track penalty there, or track limit penalty. So do be careful of that in the race, because you get too many of them, that's going to kill you. I'm not sure where the slowdown will be. Anyway, heading towards this right-hander. The 50-meter board is your first marker here. Very good, nice, easy marker. It's not going to get taken out. You can always use it. Obviously, as we build up the laps throughout the week, you may just go a bit further than the 50-meter board. Notice I just missed the apex there. On fresher tyres, you will hit that apex bang on. Flat out through the left, and then flat out in the right, and then a little bit of a lift here in the left. This is when I was trying to get right, because this is more critical than the other two. So the other two is ribbon. Will goes in the pits, just to show you a pit stop doesn't work here. Heading towards the right-hander now, just past the 150-meter board, you have the bridge support there. That is my brake marker. The bridge support, it's a perfect marker for the hairpin here. So you're going to want to overlay a little bit potentially, just to avoid the car oversteering as we come into the hairpin. It doesn't really matter on your line too much, because it's all about just pointing and going here. So there you go, there's Will ahead. Now Will was miles ahead of me at this point, so honestly pit stop not worth it. Will said this after the race as well, not worth it. So we all came to the same conclusion, no stop, absolutely go for it. So nice easy bit here, flat out, continuing on towards the fast right-hander, which again is, they're all critical corners. There's only 4 braking zones in this, so you have to get all 4 right to really nail the lap. The lap time's going to be very close for qualifying. Anyway, this one's nice easy again, 50-meter board, happy days. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, spot that at the top. I dropped 3 gears here. I struggle to judge whether it's 4th or 3rd gear. I think towards the end of the week when you start nailing the laps it'll be 4th gear. But I go to 3rd gear here, through there we go. And then as we head towards the chicane, you don't want to brake too late here. So I'm using that marker there. I brake earlier than I normally would, because normally I use the curb up ahead. Because I want a better line on the exit. I found that if I was braking too late, I was hitting the sausage more and it's causing me more issues. So you notice how I click the first one, avoid the second one, and I get a much better line. That's what you kind of want to go for in this car. And this corner's flat out, it's happy days. And that is going to be it in terms of the race. We don't have any more racing action. That is going to be the end, as everyone decides to smash into the barrier at the very end. That is going to be it for this week's races that are coming up. Obviously, I don't know the times that they're going to happen. This could be a night race, it could be a day race. Who knows? But I hope these guides are very helpful for the upcoming week of daily races. But that's going to be it for me now, folks. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in another video or live stream very soon.